Yes, so in fact, Ryan Reynolds is the one that has a connection to P. Diddy.
Yeah, we've lost some talk.
Hi and welcome to Flawsome Talk. I'm Ashley Flaw, journalist, Hollywood truth teller, and your voice of reason in a town built on delusion. If you missed my episode this weekend, you maybe didn't realize that I'm back in LA. As you can see, the background, it's what it used to be before I went to Spain. So now I'm here, which means that I'm 9 hours behind what I used to be in Spain. So my uploads are going to be a little bit later in the day. So make sure that you hit the notification bell so you don't miss an episode of Flawsome Talk ever. And of course, I promise you that I will keep you updated with everything going on in the Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni legal drama. So yes, let's dive right into it. This weekend, Blake Lively posted pictures on Instagram. There were 20 photos from Gossip Girl, from behind the scenes. Another attempt to get our attention away from what's really going on with this allegedly illegal recording that she's trying to hide from the public that I spoke about this weekend. Also, some people are speculating in the reasoning for her posting all these photos is because her and Ryan are having some issues. I remember all those headlines last weekend when people were trying to connect Justin Baldoni to P. Diddy just because he hired the same attorney as Diddy had. Now, thank you for sending me this video. It turns out that actually the one who has been working with P. Diddy is Ryan Reynolds. There's also some interesting stuff going on with Ryan Reynolds trying to buy the Fire Festival, which makes no sense really, but then it does really make sense. I'll talk about that as well. And we'll dig more into Stephanie Jones, the publicist, who is now in the docket again, trying to get the names of the people who created this smear campaign against her. As you know, she also sued Justin Baldoni and the Wayfarer parties. There's so much drama going on, you guys. But anyways, let's start with this post from Blake Lively. Yesterday, she posted about 20 photos from behind the scenes of her days at Gossip Girl. And she said that it's 18 years since Gossip Girl started. So it's not really any big anniversary or anything like that. It's just an excuse for Blake Lively to post these photos with her ex-co-stars, reminding people like, hey, I used to be so popular and I used to be surrounded by all these people who really likes me. The problem is that none of these people except Chase Crawford actually follows Blake Lively on Instagram. She's not friends with any of these people. She didn't tag any of them in this nostalgic post that, of course, all the media picked it up. As soon as I saw it, I'm like, oh my God, this is such a trap and everyone's going to pick it up. And of course they did. People was, of course, the first outlet to pick this up. And they're mentioning here how she goofed around with Michelle Trachtenberg, one of her co-stars from Gossip Girl, who tragically passed away last year. She's also hugging Leighton Meester. And we all know that they hated each other. Also, there's a photo of her and her ex, Penn Badgley. Why would she post a photo from when they were dating? Because this photo it's from the set, but it is when the two of them were dating. That's when people started speculating even more if her and Ryan are having issues. Why would you post a photo of you and your ex on Instagram? It's really weird. As you know, Ryan Reynolds has been out and about lately a lot. He's been accepting awards and honors. And he's been, of course, pushing his movie, the documentary about John Candy, and he has all these special events around it. And Blake Lively's never there to support him. And that's something else that people have been reacted to. Why isn't she by his side? She's home coloring things. As I said on Saturday, I posted a video where I talked about her promoting this coloring book on Instagram, and it was a coping mechanism for her. So to me, this is not nostalgia. This is just strategy. I saw that she got a lot of likes on this post on Instagram, and people were like, oh my God, yes, thank you for the reminder. Now we remember why we really like you, because we liked Gossip Girl and we loved your co-stars, and it looks like you're all this big happy family. And the fact here is that none of them actually follow her on Instagram except Chad Crawford. None of her co-stars follow her on Instagram. They're not friends. We know that Leighton Meester and Blake Lively hated each other. And she's posting this photo of the two of them pretending that they're BFFs. It's so ridiculous. And people also wrote at the end here that Blake also notably maintains a close connection with her co-stars America Ferrera, Alexis Bledel, and Amber Tamblyn from 2005, The Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants. I haven't seen them actually being in touch at all, except that America Ferrera supported Blake Lively in a post and then she removed it from her grid. I did a video about that a while back, and then apparently she put it back in again when people noticed that it was gone. This is just a cheap PR trick that everyone is buying. Because now she knows there's so much focus and attention on her lawsuit and that she has zero evidence. And there's also been a lot of attention on that allegedly illegal recording that I spoke about this weekend, something that Blake Lively wants to still hide because she doesn't want the entire recording to come out, even though it's her evidence against Steve Sarowitz. She just wants her cherry-picked part of that recording to be public. I'll get back to that shortly, actually, because there's some more interesting information about that someone sent me. I mean, all these attempts to take away the attention from what's really going on here, I find it so tone deaf. And the fact that all these media outlets are picking it up, it's like, oh my God. And where are these people now? No one's there to support her anymore. None of the Gossip Girl co-stars came out to support her. No one is supporting her. The fact that she has to have limited comments on this post as well just says it all. I don't understand why they just don't turn off comments altogether. That would be actually a better alternative for her and Ryan, because now it looks like they have like 13 real fans, which are their fan pages that are commenting. I've seen a lot on Ryan Reynolds' post. All the people that are commenting are other Ryan Reynolds fan pages. Anyways, last week there were a lot of negative headlines towards Justin Baldoni. Every magazine and news outlet out there wanted to connect Justin Baldoni to P. Diddy because he had hired P. Diddy's attorney. While in reality, thank you for sending me this. A lot of people sent me this video, which is so interesting because it is a video where Ryan Reynolds is collaborating with P. Diddy to sell booze.
For the last 10 months, Diddy, David, and me, Ryan Reynolds, have been hard at work.
Here's to you guys.
Gross.
Ryan, that shit tastes like ass feet.
Yes, so in fact, Ryan Reynolds is the one that has a connection to P. Diddy. I guess the outlets forgot to mention that. Also, Tracy, thank you for sending me this. She did a little bit more of a deep dive into that recording that I spoke about recently that Blake Lively doesn't want us to hear. She wanted to just cherry pick a few moments out of this recording that she used in her filing. And that recording is of Steve Sarowitz when he's talking bad about her and Ryan and saying that he's willing to spend $100 million to ruin them and that he wants to protect basically the Wayfair studio at any price. So as I said, she's using this recording as her evidence, but she doesn't want the public to see it. Well, Wayfair party and Justin Baldoni has asked the judge to unseal this recording so we can hear the entire context because the recording is over 30 minutes long. And Tracy pointed out something interesting here. She's saying, why did Blake Lively present the three different snippets that she used from this recording in the wrong order? She's using a 6-second clip from 3 minutes on, and then she's using an 8-second clips from 26 minutes on, and then she's using a 28-second clips from 25 minutes on. Why didn't she present these clips chronologically for the judge? And she doesn't even say what are in those specific clips. It just says 6 seconds, 8 seconds, and 28 seconds. I feel there's always something shady going on, and that's why I also reacted to this. And we have to remember one thing. When Steve Sarowitz allegedly said these things that were negative towards Blake Lively, they had been threatened and blackmailed by Blake Lively for a while already. Remember this statement that Ryan Reynolds wrote that he wanted them to publish, this press release? I'm going to read it for you. It's not very long, but it's just something that we have to keep in mind, a reminder of what they actually tried to do to the Wayfair parties. The statement that obviously Ryan Reynolds wrote said that "It Ends With Us" was a troubled production, which we take full accountability for. We are very sorry to everyone we caused upset to privately and publicly. Blake Lively and the author Colin Hoover, the entire cast and crew led with professionalism every step of the way. Any negativity aimed at them is ours to own. We mutually agreed that the cast would be promoting the film separately and understood why. We hold ourselves accountable. It's not anyone's job but ours, and that's part of being man enough. That's why I know Ryan Reynolds wrote this. We will practice what we preach. We are learning and growing from the experience, and we thank everyone for their patience as we find a better way to proceed. Yeah, that's what they wanted the Wayfair parties to basically give to the press. Is there any doubt in anyone's minds why Steve Sarowitz was really pissed off at this point? So this statement, plus all those points that they wanted them, to sign, all of these things together created a pretty hostile environment. And so it makes a lot of sense why Sarowitz said the things that he said at that point. Anyways, I hope the judge is going to rule on this recording this week so we can hear the entire conversation. Also, there was a weird story last week that caught my attention. I was like, why would Ryan Reynolds buy Fyre Festival? Remember that festival that was a complete scam and everyone bought tickets there and they went there and it was nothing there. It was just mud and they got a sandwich. And I don't think there even was a concert. It was a disaster. And there was a bidding war to own the IP for Fyre Festival. And Ryan Reynolds bid, but someone bid over him. LimeWire won the bid and paid $240,000 for the brand. And now I understand what Ryan Reynolds wanted with it, because I was like, he's not going to start a new Fyre Festival. It's such a tainted brand. But of course, he's going to use this scandal to monetize it, because that's what he keeps doing. That's what Maximum Efforts do. They take other people's tragedy and scandals and then they monetize it. And he already did.
You wanted to attend the music festival of the year. Now, the only way off this island is Rusty, and he does not take emotional distress.
He just did an ad with Visa that he posted on Instagram where he mocks the festival. And there's even like this sign of Fyre Festival. And he's playing around on Visa saying, takes you where you want to be or whatever. And this is like take you or places you don't want to be, which is obviously Fyre Festival. Even though he didn't buy the IP, I don't know how that works. I'm sure you're allowed to do that if it is parody. He just did the same thing with this astronomer, the cheating scandal at the Coldplay concert. And he did the same thing with the Peloton machine when it was a part of And Just Like That, when Big fell off and died of the Peloton machine, he picked it up and mocked it and made fun of it. Yeah, this is a pattern from Ryan Reynolds. He doesn't build things, he just hijacks cultural disasters and then spin them into cheap marketing for himself. It's interesting when you think about how Fyre Festival collapsed because it was built on smoke and mirrors, and Ryan Reynolds' brand is starting to show the exact same cracks. He's out there disabling Instagram comments because his brand is so tarnished. His own brand is so tarnished. And then he takes other brands that are tarnished, trying to spin them around to monetize it. It's just so insane. Why are people buying this stuff? Why did Visa want to do this with him? They're using his voiceover as well. So it's so clear that this is all Ryan Reynolds. While Fyre Festival needed influencers to sell tickets, Ryan Reynolds needs scandals and other people's misery to keep his brand alive. Anyways, let's get to the new filing from Stephanie Jones. Remember Stephanie Jones? She is the publicist. She's actually the publicist who represented Justin Baldoni from the beginning, and she's also the publicist who gave all those text messages from her ex-employee, Jennifer Abel, to Blake Lively's team, who gave it to the New York Times, who started this whole thing. So Stephanie Jones is very important in this case. And she separately sued Justin Baldoni, Jennifer Abel, and the rest of Wayfair for a smear campaign against her. Back in 2023, she actually also made Jennifer Abel a partner. She said back then to Deadline, this is only 2 years ago, she said, "We're thrilled to name Jennifer Abel partner at JonesWorks. She has played such an integral role in our agency, incredible success and growth since joining our team. Jen is a respectful leader, a force to be reckoned with, and is one of the most talented publicists I've ever had the pleasure of working with." But then as soon as Jennifer Abel wanted to leave JonesWorks, Stephanie Jones went bananas. So she accepted that Van Zandt subpoena from Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively's company, the company that's now all gone, and that lawsuit that was just a sham. And she used it to get access to Jennifer Abel's phone when she wanted to leave the company. She took the phone and used the messages, and New York Times or Blake Lively's team cherry-picked them and used it against Justin Baldoni. Anyways, a lot of people had issues with Stephanie Jones. I know one of you guys had as well, because I've been speaking to someone that watches my show here, and she told me that she had a horrific experience working with Stephanie Jones. And last year, during the month of the premiere of It Ends With Us, there was a big story on her in Business Insider. It said, "Who's afraid of Stephanie Jones?" And it was explaining from a lot of people, from insiders, all anonymous, talking about how she was as a boss, how she was working with some of her clients, collaborated with the journalists here, and they're all kind of agreeing that she was a tyrant. She asked people at work to turn up the music because she always was yelling at people in her office. She used to FaceTime her employees when they were off sick to make sure that they were actually sick. She even FaceTimed one of her employees when he was in a funeral to actually check that he was there. This article is referring to her as an erratic screamer. And so a lot of people disliked her. And that's why when these websites became public, everyone in the industry were talking about them. There was one website called Stephanie Leaks, and that was taken down after a while. And then there was another one created. And she's now trying to figure out who was behind these websites. So basically, she sued also John Doe's, unknown people. She maybe learned that from that Van Zandt lawsuit, that you can just sue unknown people. And she did. And now someone called Catherine Case have been deposed, and she could tell that someone actually asked her to write something for this website. And that evidence have been sealed, so not even Stephanie Jones knows who this person is, and she's asking the judge, "Please let me know who this person is. We have to take away, to remove the seal on it saying attorney's eyes only. I want to know who this person is." And now the judge has said yes. Yeah, so that should be interesting to see if anyone had anything to do with that, or if it's someone completely different, because a lot of people obviously did not like and do not like Stephanie Jones. And it's quite funny because in her office, she had this sign in LED letters saying that, "Buy the rumor, sell the news." That was the slogan at the office, which is basically saying that you should spin the perception, you should make the rumors up, get them out there. And then when the actual truth comes out, no one really cares that much about that. Rumors are driving the buzz and not the facts. It's about shaping narratives, even though it's manipulative. That's what Stephanie Jones stands for. And now she's a victim here, but her own philosophy was literally celebrating the power of rumor over truth. The Publicist side of this lawsuit is so interesting to me. I didn't really understand how dirty that world is, but now I'm learning more and more, and I'm appalled by it. Anyways, that's it from you guys. I hope you enjoyed this episode. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do, and check if you have been unsubscribed. That happened to a lot of people as well. And hit the notification bell so you don't miss an episode of Flawsome Talk. And I'll see you in my next one. Bye.
Yeah, we flawsome talk.